What up, y'all? It's me. I'm here, thankfully. But we're here with a pretty different kind of video today. Very different kind that hopefully we only have to do like one time ever. And then we're done with it, right? But I have been agonizing about it at a time when I really shouldn't be stressing like too much about stuff at all. I've been very stressed out about exactly like how to do this video. So I got a couple of options, right? I can come out here as like, Dad from the place, what's up, wizards? And do all the other stuff, right? The YouTube bullshit. Or I could be Devin. And like, you know, it's been 7 years that we've been doing YouTube this month, guys. This month, 7 years. It doesn't feel like that long for me. But it has been. And in 7 years, I don't know that you guys have ever seen Devin. And you should. And I'm mostly going to talk about like my experience in this video, but it's going to be interspersed with some things that I owe you occasionally, because I do owe you so much. I owe you so much. People tell me I don't, and I'm the one that provides the entertainment. And I get emails from you guys all the time. And they're like, you know, you helped me when I was in the hospital. I broke my arm. I broke my leg. I had to be laid up for weeks because I broke my leg. And I watched your videos and it helps me. I get these emails. I get these emails all the time. And I say this on stream sometimes. You guys sometimes talk about like, oh, you know, you helped me through this. You helped me through that. And you guys help me every day. You guys help me every day. I just want to get that out of the way just before we really start things. I'm sorry if I'm already getting like, like really emotional, but it's really emotional. I can't help that it's a very emotional thing that I'm here to talk about. I hope I haven't already sent half of you out the door. I really do. And I'm probably going to have a hard time organizing all my thoughts. I'm already ADHD. And now I'm going through all this. It's really stressful to try to organize my thoughts. But in any case, I owe you a lot. You don't owe me anything. I'm happy for the support that I get. And I wouldn't be able to do it without the support that I get. But in terms of just my mental health, you guys have no idea how much you help me every single day. This would have happened to me much sooner if it weren't. I had a bunch of people tell me, like, you know, don't work too hard. If you're working too hard, sometimes it'll cause something like this. And honestly, I feel like I do work extremely hard on the channel, but it feels less like work than anything I've ever done in my life. You know, I spent 15 years in restaurants. I worked at a mail sorting company. I worked at a Blockbuster. I worked at a place building and assembling and delivering furniture. I worked at 3 different places in the mall. So I've done not every, but a lot of like, you know, low wage jobs and stuff. And I feel like if I was still doing those things and I didn't have you guys, then I would be long in the grave by now. So don't think that it's my hard work on the channel that put me in the hospital. If anything, I would have been there long before if I didn't have you. And I mean that. But what fucking happened? Because like I haven't even really addressed it yet. And we're probably 20 minutes into this video. I don't know. I can't tell time anymore. But what happened? Okay. So I guess we'll go back to Christmas Eve at this point. Christmas Eve. I got home from my mother-in-law's house. Who I love, by the way. I have absolutely zero problem with mother-in-law. She's like one of the coolest people in the entire world. Had a great time. We played like cards. We played Phase 10 at her house. Just hanging out, shooting the shit, talking. Her mom's awesome. Great time. Got home. And I started to feel a pain sort of creep up my shoulder and my neck, down a little bit in this region. A little bit down my arm over here, right? Never chest pains. Never shortness of breath. Never, I feel too hot or anything like that. Never, a pressing sensation or anything. Just aches and pains. Like I lifted something that I shouldn't have lifted, which was plausible, right? So I have a hard time getting to sleep that night. But I do get to sleep for 3 hours. I wake up. I go back to sleep. I wake up 2 hours later, right? So I have trouble sleeping that night. I decide to go to Christmas Day at my mom's house on Christmas Day, the next day. Mostly because we needed the money. So my mom gives us money for Christmas. Otherwise, I probably would have felt too bad to go. I really did not feel good on Christmas Day. But I went because we are broke. We're fairly broke. And I really appreciate all the support we get, but like even with the support, you got to pay the rent, you got to pay your bills, you got to pay credit card bills, you got to pay student loan debt, you got to buy groceries and all that. So we're still very, very broke at the end of the month. We are not rich by any stretch. So we mostly went for the money. I ended up actually getting into an argument with my aunts. That was fun. And when I got home, I ended up feeling just awful, just really, really, really bad. The same sensations. All of this, only the pain was worse, I got in the shower, made it feel a little bit better. Got out of the shower. Tried to sleep, could not sleep. Could not sleep on Christmas. Woke up the next day, right? I say woke up. Really, I just got out of bed. I decided to get out of bed finally at 11 o'clock the next morning. And in the end, that day, on the 26th, it wasn't so bad, right? It didn't feel so bad most of the day. I could still walk around, do stuff. I walked the dog a bunch of times, 3 or 4 times that day. I cooked Brittany and I dinner that night. I did normal household stuff. I worked. I think did I stream? Did I stream the night after Christmas? I think I may have. I think I streamed the night after Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. But I did. Yeah, I streamed the night after Christmas. So I felt like everything was, getting back to normal. I didn't feel so bad. It was the next day that stuff started going terribly wrong. I literally couldn't sleep at all. Got in the shower, didn't help. I think that we went to bed at 12 o'clock on the 27th. Yeah, on the 27th, we went to bed at 12 o'clock. And I laid in bed until 7 o'clock the next morning, not sleeping, just being in this horrible pain, right? Just terrible pain. Same places too, no chest pain whatsoever. Just all of this, neck, back, shoulder, some of the arm, and all that. Still thinking that maybe I lifted something. I don't know what's going on. And this is the point where Brittany started saying do you want to go to the hospital? And I was like, no, I don't, because I don't really go to the hospital. I never get sick. I'm a little scared of doctors, if I'm to be very honest. I'm scared of the bills and all that. I'm scared that they will keep me against my will and make me do stuff I don't want to do. And there's a lot of reasons that I hate doctors. And I just basically never ever go. But 10 o'clock that morning, about 3 hours later, I had again tried to get in the shower. It didn't work. I was standing with my hands on the bed, bent over the bed, like I could breathe. I could take deep breaths and stuff. But I still had to breathe, right? Okay, something's up. And Brittany was in bed at the time. She had fallen back asleep. And I was like, okay, I guess we should go to the hospital. All right. So I drive myself to the hospital, which you're not supposed to do, but it's America. I'm afraid of the $3,500 ambulance ride. Which my mom in the waiting room later, my mom leaned over to me and was like, "Did you want to take an ambulance?" And I was like, "I wanted to drive myself." And she's like, "An ambulance, $3,500." I was like, "Yeah, I know." I just felt like it was a weird thing for her to say. Anyway, we drove to the hospital, and we checked into the ER, and there were 60 people in the ER, and they're all there for COVID tests. Which makes sense, because we just had 1 million new cases in one day in America. Just batshit. That's insane in and of itself. And I think a lot of these people were very legitimately sick in the ER, but I was one of the only people there, I think, that wasn't there for some sort of COVID related thing. But when they finally got to, check my blood pressure, they got to me, they got to process me, I'm sitting there the whole time, like I think having a heart attack. They get me back there, they check my blood pressure, and it is 206 over 122. And if you know anything about blood pressure, you know that that's ridiculous. A normal blood pressure is about 120 over 80. So I'm very close to like double the normal blood pressure. At that point, they start to take things a little bit, very seriously in regards to my case. And within 20 minutes, I'm in a back room talking to a cardiologist who tells me that I have had a heart attack. They don't know exactly when. They don't know if I had it at my house or in the emergency room or what, but I have had a heart attack. And I'm going to have to stay at the hospital for a couple of nights. And they're going to, I'm going to have to see, another cardiologist tomorrow who may perform some sort of cardiac surgery on me, depending on how things go. And I'm freaking out. I'm just in like a pretty shitty little room in this private hospital. So that's what we have around here. They just spent as little money as they possibly could, right? On this teeny tiny room. God knows how much they're going to charge me, because I don't know yet. I don't know. They haven't billed me yet. They said they'd send the bill. So I'm expecting, $75,000 bill. That's how America is, in case you live across the pond or something. You just don't know. American healthcare costs are ridiculous. Probably going to have another heart attack when I actually see the real cost of it. But that's neither here nor there. My life is saved. Because the idea was that I was not only did I have a heart attack, but I was a good candidate to continue having heart attacks. And at first, she told me that I had a mini heart attack, right? But really, it turned out that I had a STEMI, which is the same kind of heart attack that Kevin Smith had a few years ago. A STEMI is colloquially known as a widowmaker. Fun fact. Because it kills so many of the people who have it. So I somehow survived that. Through just, by hook or by crook. Somehow through luck. Anybody who's seen me on streams, you know that anytime I've complained about like, all we do is draw lands, or, we got one more chance to draw the card, guys. Land, I think that all of my bad luck was actually, all my good luck was being saved up for this moment. So I can't really complain anymore about fucking good or bad luck, right? So I think I'm actually the luckiest man in the world. But yeah, I survived a widowmaker. Not only that, but I apparently survived having the possibility of having like multiple other small heart attacks. My wife thinks she knows exactly when it happened. Brittany says that there was a point where I was half asleep in the second room that they put us in, which was like a split room. It was separated from the other person only by like a curtain thing. And the heart monitor said that my heart rate was like 42. It was like red and flashing and beeping and stuff. And the look on my face was like one of those, and I was like struggling to take deep breaths to calm myself down. She was like, in that moment, I'm pretty sure that's probably when you were having like the first heart attack. And by the way, like I said, my heart rate was 42. Normal heart rate is anywhere between like 70 and 100. Resting usually 70 to 80. So 40's bad. 40's really bad. My heart's not pumping enough blood to bring oxygen to other parts of my body, which is really interesting, by the way. Not only after they did what they did to me, which I'll get into in a second, not only did I instantly feel better in terms of my arm and back and shoulder pain and neck pain and all that I came in for, but also in terms of other aches and pains that I've had for years. Lower back pain, this pain in my knee joints, a lot of pain in my leg. My right leg since the last year, just like gone, because my heart can properly function for the time being, right? So, stay in the hospital overnight, that first night, in that same like curtained off room. But in the morning, the next morning, they transferred me over to the other hospital, where I talked to another cardiologist, this one that was capable of performing surgeries and stuff. And rather than opening my heart up, which is what they had me scared of, all the night before, that I was going to go through a procedure with like this insanely low survival rate, instead they decided they were going to put a heart catheter in my leg, which I thought was going to go through a bad place, but it doesn't. It goes through your thigh, sort of at the top of your hip right here. And what they're going to do with that is place a stent in my heart to blow out all the blockage, because one of my arteries was just completely and totally blocked. So they do that after many tests. I think I took like 3 X-rays, a CAT scan, so much blood work, like a ridiculous amount of blood was taken from me over this like 2-day first, initial stay. And that's how to determine they could do the heart cath stent, blow that shit out. So they do that. And like I said, I instantly feel better. I neglect to mention that this whole time, I'm completely scared out of my mind. Fear I didn't know existed, because when you face like oblivion, when you face the abyss, things get serious, man. So like just all leading up to this, my wife and I, and Brittany was with me like the whole time, like the entire time Brittany's there. It's scaring her to death, and we are crying together and saying goodbyes if that's what we have to do, right? And like talking about like what's hers when I die, like it's really fucking intense stuff to have to go through. And I don't want to downplay all that, because that's what really changes you. It's not just like, I don't want to just like go through what happened. Because I think that's like the way that's going to make me feel calm about all of this. But that's not like what happened to me. I had the heart attack. And the traumatic thing about it isn't necessarily that I had to go to the hospital overnight for a few nights. Boo-hoo. People do it all the time, right? It's one of my worst fears, but it's something people do all the time. What was really affecting about this is understanding that I am 38 years old. I've never said that on camera before. I'm 38 years old. And everyone that I talked to, nurse, doctor, whatever, was like, you are just too young to be in here. And I didn't just eat my way in there. I was told by 4 different doctors or nurses over the course of these stays that you can't beat genetics. And I have terrible genetics. And I know some people snicker at that, but it's just fact in this case. And the doctors agree that, my father had his heart attack that killed him when he was 42 years old. My aunt had a stroke at 44 years old. My father's cousin, John Paul, at 41 years old, had his heart attack that killed him. And I'm a candidate for something called Factor V Leiden, which, increases the likelihood of heart attack and stroke and stuff. Almost no matter how well you treat yourself, which is not fucking fair, but it's not like I treat myself perfectly anyway, right? Like I eat shit all the time. We've been doing better. Actually, I have lost more weight than I could have imagined. A couple of years ago, and this is something else that like I'm going to admit to you, and it's going to take a lot to admit this to you on camera, okay? For like who knows how many people to see. But a couple of years ago, Brittany was feeling kind of sick. So we went to a Walmart clinic. And at the Walmart clinic, I weighed myself for the first time in a really, really long time. Now, at this point, I had quit my job for YouTube full time. We were eating out 2 to even 3 times a day. Just, fast food, sit-down restaurants and stuff. We never cooked. We ate out for just literally every meal. And very sedentary life on top of that. So I weighed myself at this Walmart clinic. And I was 390 pounds. I was almost 400 pounds. 2 years ago. When they weighed me coming into the hospital last week, I was 309 pounds. So I've lost 80 pounds in the last few years. And that's largely because we have changed our diet to an extent. We still eat shit, right? We still eat McDonald's twice a month. We still eat Zaxby's like once a week. That's like a fried chicken chain around here. Think Chick-fil-A, sort of. But I eat like Burger King, which is like really terrible. It doesn't even taste good. I don't know why. We eat Taco Bell and stuff, so we still eat like garbage, like all the time. But I have supplemented a lot of that with, home cooking, real meals, Caesar salads, the occasional steak or grilled chicken, right? So, and green sides. So like in the last few years, I have tried to maybe not eat a lot better, but eat a little bit better. And I think that has had some effect, but not enough of one. As it is now, I'm on a completely cardiac diet, and it's fucking awesome, guys. Like, I didn't understand, like, what I don't really miss eating shit. Like, there is like once a day where I'm like, dude, I could fucking rip into a cheeseburger right now. Like, oh, dude, like, I could fucking murder a slice of pizza. Like, I'm doing it right now. I'm literally doing it. So to say that I completely don't miss eating garbage is like false, right? Like I miss eating it some because like garbage is delicious, but so is the stuff I get to eat, right? Like I didn't realize, like I can eat all the like salmon that I want basically, and I love salmon. I made fish tacos with salmon the other day, a little guacamole, some salsa, which is totally good for you, it turns out. Just a little like spare lettuce and a tiny bit of like low fat cheese, and like shit is delicious, dude. Like I made shrimp tacos the same way, but shrimp you gotta watch out, it's got a lot of sodium. I can't have a lot of sodium. But all kinds of other stuff. I can have like all the pistachios and almonds and raisins that I want. Those are delicious. I can have like all the green shit that I want, and I love broccoli, I love Brussels sprouts. So like, it's not. This has been like actually fine. The switch to the cardiac diet has been like fine on me so far. It's not really been a big deal. So that's really like, it's interesting. Like the changing of my life since then, since the heart attack, has not really been the hard thing to go through. It's just like the idea that who knows when the next one happens, How is it possible that my camera's already blinking at me? That's nuts, dude. That like can't be that we're almost out of time. Like, it's nuts. Cause like, hold on. I just wonder like how much this video is increasing my blood pressure. Now I like have to know. All right. So let's try it out. All right. Okay, so 150 over 93, and I know that's reflected, so you can't really see it, but that is not necessarily ideal at all. Again, 120 over 80 is what we're looking for. But 150 over 93 is kind of pretty fucking elevated. Part of this experience made me realize how much this channel, this stupid YouTube channel, has touched a lot of people. My memory card on the camera finally got full, so I had to dump it, but and come back and pick up where we left off. All I was gonna say was that, like, I know it sounds silly. We're Magic the Gathering channel, and not one that is anywhere near as attended as it once was. Say that much. But I still see how much it means to a lot of people. And I need you all to know how much it means to me. That you're here in the first place. And that you've stayed. Not everyone has, guys. There was a point when we were one of the only real deck tech games in town. We were getting, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 views per video. And it is not like that anymore. It's not. And for those of you who have stayed, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me that I continue to be able to do this. Because when I can't do this anymore, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have absolutely no clue what I can do next. And I got extremely lucky and stumbled into this being successful. I guess I'll leave it like this. Because I have to do something that is as nerdy as possible. Wouldn't be on brand for the channel or me, honestly. I keep telling you I'm going to try to be as authentic as possible. I'm a huge fucking nerd, so this is still on brand for me. There used to be a line in The Hobbit that meant a lot to me, and I tried so hard to find my copy of The Hobbit earlier when I thought about this. And I cannot find a copy. I've had like 8 copies of The Hobbit. I don't know why I can't find my current copy. But I've highlighted this paragraph in nearly every copy of The Hobbit I've ever had. It's after Bilbo, alone, left in the forest, wakes up to find himself spun into a spider's web. And in what is probably the scariest experience of his life, Bilbo defeats the spider. And there's a paragraph about how much it meant to him to do that on his own. To finally do something and feel as though through determination and grit and the will to survive, he did it on his own. And that paragraph used to mean a lot to me for a long time after this channel. Because, after a couple of months of the channel, I was doing it completely by myself. I felt like I was killing myself putting in work on this channel. There was a point where I was working well over 100 hours a week on this YouTube channel. Maybe if I still was, we'd get the same kind of numbers. But still, I work about 60 hours a week or so on this YouTube channel most weeks. I feel like I'm still putting a lot of work into it. But I was wrong to feel the way that I felt. I was wrong to feel as though I built this completely by myself. And not because I originally had partners or anything, because, again, after a couple of months, it really was just me doing all the production and editing and stuff, writing and stuff like that. But I still needed, and this is going to sound like so saccharine to a lot of you guys, but I swear to Christ, after everything that I've been through, I truly believe this. Not in a platitude kind of way, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't have done it without you. I could not. I didn't do this by myself. I have over 700 patrons right now. I have about 10,000 people still who will watch my videos at any given time. I have a little over 100 people who will join me on Twitch streams. I have people on those Twitch streams who are subbed, who give bits and donations and stuff. I have a whole network of people who I don't give enough credit to, who I don't give enough care and time and consideration for, who allow this to exist. And you're probably, if you're watching this video, you're probably one of those people. And I need to acknowledge, just as Bilbo has to bring it back, Bilbo doesn't defeat Smaug, all by himself. Thorin Oakenshield has to die so that Smaug is defeated. And no one does it by themselves, much less me. I needed all of you, and I will continue to need all of you. So if there's something that I learned, I guess, in the hospital, it's something that I already kind of knew. I just didn't understand the depth of. And that is how much my station in life at the current moment even though it's, to a lot of people, it's just like, oh, mid to low tier, bullshit subject matter, small niche YouTuber. A lot of people are going to look at it dismissively like that. It's anything but. It's amazing to me to see. Can't even explain it. I don't have the words. I hope that this is loud enough. This is how I normally talk, by the way. Very softly. When I have to project for YouTube, but normally I'm very sort of shy. This is how I talk. I hope that the mic is even picking it up. But I love you guys. I know this has been a really rambly video, and I'm sorry for that. And there's no way I can possibly say everything I need to say, and there's no way I can make it come out the perfect way that I want it to. And again, very stressed. This video is going to come out weird and all that. And we'll get back to magic content super soon. Don't worry. This, again, I just kind of wanted to let you guys know, not only if you didn't know what was going on, what was going on. I had a fucking heart attack. But also to let those of you who did know what was going on, let you know exactly, not only that I appreciate it, but I'm starting to sort of understand the depth of what this whole experience, not the heart attack, but this channel, the depth of what it actually means to me and what it means to a lot of people. So you don't have to worry about me going away by choice anytime soon. I will continue to do this for as long as you will allow me to do it. And thank you for allowing me to do it for so long. Seriously. If it ended tomorrow, I would still be thankful that it lasted as long as it did. So, thanks for that. And presuming you allow me to keep doing it, thanks for that. Love you guys. I'm not going to put any of the socials and stuff up here for this video like a fucking asshole. Right? Ooh, check out Patreon. Well, there's links in the description for all that garbage if you want to do it. It's just you have given me something that I have no business having at all. Magic is just a fun game for me that I've played fucking damn near my entire life. I've been playing Magic since I was 11. I'm 38 now. And there was a point where I was just I like building Magic decks. It's my favorite thing to do. So why don't I just make a YouTube channel about building Magic decks? And here we are. It can happen. But I lucked into it really, really hard. Because not everyone that tries to do this gets to do it. I understand how lucky I am. And again, I get to be that lucky because of you. And don't think I don't understand that. I guess for now, I'm going to leave it at that. Because I know that no matter what I do or don't say, I won't have said enough. So I guess for now, I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna stream this week. I think I'm gonna stream on Thursday night. Although tomorrow, I can't wait for this. My cousin is finally coming over. I talked about this on Twitter not long ago, but it's finally happening. My cousin's coming over with a bunch of old, unopened baseball card packs from the late 80s and early 90s. We're going to open those up, all day. It's going to be fun. So I can't wait for that. But after that, maybe I'll get on stream and we'll just talk. We'll play a little Magic, maybe, right? Or maybe we'll just talk. Could be. But, like I said, I don't know that I'm completely done talking about this because I don't think I'll ever have said everything I need to say. And I know it's a little self-indulgent of me to be like, oh, I had a heart attack. Let me ramble about nothing for 30 minutes or whatever. I get that it's self-indulgent. So again, thank you for allowing me to do that. And you're still watching the video. It's incredible if you are. So, but for now, I guess I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm still here. And I plan on being here as long as I possibly can. And I don't want to go anywhere. And the last people in the world I want to leave besides my wife are you guys. So don't worry about me. Please don't worry about me. I love you all. And I will catch you cats later. I'm Devin. I'm Devin Randall from Georgia. And the thing that I want you to remember the absolute most, no matter what, even long after I am gone, whenever that happens, is to spread love and be kind. Just do that one thing for me. Bye, guys.